Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I am gonna get some hate for this, but I will 100% guarantee that this is 100% legal.
Let's go!
So in the last video, you guys seen that I got Big Blue back up and running. We think we figured out what the problem is, but today's adventure, we are going to go out and test whether or not Big Blue is indeed 100%. Now, before we get started, like I stated, might get some hate for this, but I am actually running 19 North Corridor. Perfectly legal for the ATVs here in the state of Wisconsin. Now, mind you, I was an avid snowmobile fan for a lot of years. I had my own sled. I realized what a four-wheeler can do to the snowmobile trail if you are a complete jackass. I am not that. I'm going to put it in four-wheel drive. I'm just going for a cruise to determine whether or not Big Blue is going to be once again dependable. This is a beautiful trail that I used to ride all the time as a kid. Now that I'm staying at my dad's house until we move to South Dakota, I have the ability to ride right from the house, hop on the trail, and go for a cruise. So either which way, let's throw our gloves back on because it's about 5 degrees right now. Let's take Big Blue for a ride, go check out the scenery here in the North Woods. Let's go make us some miles. Okay, here we go. Now the ride here, everything seemed happy. And one of the benefits about riding right now, excuse me, is the fact that we've had so much cold weather and rain. The base on the snowmobile trails right now is like freaking concrete. Now this is say a fresh trail, and if you guys are curious of the laws here in Wisconsin, and if it is an ATV shared trail during the winter months, you cannot ride the trails at all if it's above 28 degrees. And also, you're not allowed on the trails 10 days before the trails are open, or after the trails are open, excuse me. They want the base to set in order for the, snowmobile clubs or the snowmobiles to be able to enjoy themselves. But this is a beautiful trail that goes down through some cedar swamps and some other stuff. And like I said, if this was a freshly groomed or a newly open trail, I don't think I would come out right after 10 days due to the fact that I think you would just, with a four-wheeler, anybody knows, you would just you'll just destroy the trail. And I don't want to be that guy, as you can see. I mean, I could be a complete, I don't know, douche for lack of less, things that just completely destroy this trail. And that's not my objective. My objective is to just come do some cruising. So far, Big Blue seems happy. I don't hear any abnormal noises. Now, if you guys ride snowmobiles, you understand the fact that you always want to stay right, because the amount of speed you can hold on a snowmobile versus hold on a frickin' four-wheeler is unbelievable. You can cook down these trails, so always want to stay right on the corners. Obviously, signal if you've got anybody behind you, and kind of go from there. And I guess put in the comments, do you guys like riding at night if you do ride sleds, or do you prefer riding during the day? Me personally, I like riding during the day due to, get it out. I like riding at night, especially on snowmobiles or even side-by-sides or ATVs for that matter, due to the fact that you can see the headlights coming, because you get a sled flipping through here 55, 60 miles an hour. At least you can prepare yourself if you can see the headlights coming. This was though, see, what was awesome growing up is me and my dad, I had a 1988 Yamaha Phaser. He had an Arctic, 8000 I believe. And we used to know the groomer that would groom this. So he would always tell us, like, hey, this is my schedule, this is what I'm grooming. I knew we could get on the bus, my sister and I, hop on the snowmobiles, and this would be a fresh, and I mean fresh, ribbon going through here, which was absolutely awesome. Fast, smooth, just unbelievable. And I don't know what it is about this trail system. It doesn't get, you know, I hate to say this, but it doesn't get a whole lot of traffic. Ooh, I can tell she's icy under there from the walking. It doesn't get a whole lot of traffic, so it makes for a very awesome ride. Like I said, hopefully, I only got 3 bars, so we're not going too far, but hopefully I get to like Little Cedar Swamp or whatever it is. We'll probably check things over and turn around and go from there, because I'm telling you what, guys, it is cold today. If you've got an air leak, you know about it. And you take for granted on a snowmobile having a windshield and stuff like that, because no wind block. It is brutal right now. I'm gonna have to cover my nose up so I don't get frostbite. And I'm telling you what, I can't turn for nothing on this logging section. There is no traction. See, and this is all new. Didn't know I wonder when they started clear cutting this. That's Wisconsin's property management for you right there. Yeah, it's not bad, but I mean, flat. This goes for. Doesn't seem to be making any funny noises or anything crazy. Everything seems to be so far happy in regards to the repair. I don't hear anything rubbing or nothing like that, so that's good. It usually is, but like I said, I mean, they are running logging trucks through here, so to be expected. You can't have a 2-foot base of snowmobile trail and run a logging trail down it, so. Okay, I gotta cover up my nose though, otherwise I'm gonna end up with frostbite. Give me a second here, guys. It is like that cold type deal right now. Truthfully, if I was smart, I wouldn't be out here right now, but just trying to get out and do some riding. Okay, let's see. Get her up to speed here a little bit. Things have been groomed on this bad boy. Gates are open, and I did check all the website says it is open. I know there is a couple swamps that this goes through, and I'm wondering if those are still ungroomable yet, so hard to say type deal. Either way, I don't like those flat smooth roads anyway. Looks like it was panned once, but that's about it, I think. Like I said, main goal, get to the cedar swamp, turn around and get back before dark, because it is brutally cold right now. And as you can see, guys, I'm not out here trying to completely just torch the trails. And that's the bad thing about this aspect of things. You know, there are certain people that don't care about, the snowmobile sport or the ATV sport or whatever the case is. Everybody's got a gripe, but you always got that one guy, whether or not it's snowmobiles, ATVs, UTVs, that just completely disregard the sport for everybody. And I've actually rode with people that'll come out in a two-wheel drive and just roach these trails and leave trenches. Well, and you wonder why they don't want to share the trails when their season is as short as it is. So, can't blame them. I will say I am kind of bummed that this isn't groomed though. I know they opened this section up, but this is usually a fun-flowing roller through here. It's absolutely awesome, but it's been a really weird season this year. We've had rain, we've had deep freeze. You know, like right now it's 5 degrees, and a day or two ago was 37 and rainy. Gives you any idea how this season's been. Now I will say for the snowmobile season, this is one of the best seasons they've had in a long time here in Wisconsin. Where they've had, I think last year they maybe had like a couple days in certain area or a week. I know up north in the Northwoods it's pretty nice up there. The trails are groomed, they're getting a lot of snowmobile traffic. And why that's so important for Wisconsin is we've had seasons where hundreds of businesses have gone belly up because they rely on the winter snowmobile traffic to keep their business afloat. Actually working up a little sweat here, not sweat, but actually working a little bit to stay warm. I will say though, this Scrambler is an absolute blast. This thing is awesome. I'm glad to have it up and running again. This is one of the sections that I'm wondering if they haven't groomed yet, or one of the reasons on why they haven't come through the groomer here yet. Especially with it being as warm as it has been, to get that to set up. Yeah, because you can see where the groomer turned around right there. See what I mean though? Awesome little swampy section, little cedars. You know, we got a bunch of balsam, cool little stand of trees. This side's been groomed a little more. They must come down, turn around at that swamp, wait for that swamp to set up. I know a lot of Lincoln County opened up before this section did. I'm assuming because of swamp sections like that. You bury a swamp in there, bury a tractor in there, it's not just as easy as coming to pick it up with your pickup. I mean, that's a whole different endeavor getting something like that unstuck from a swamp. So the base is so frozen here, it's nuts. I actually got pretty good traction. See, like there, I could just roost that right there, just it probably wouldn't really affect the trails much now because the base is so frozen. But at the same time, I don't want to be that guy, because I'm sure I'm already going to get flack from the keyboard warriors about being on a snowmobile trail, which it is legal, I promise, it's legal. Look it up, Lincoln County. I can take this all the way back to Merrill, Wisconsin, out to the airport, all that stuff if I wanted to. I take this all the way up to Spear Falls and Nokomis, all legal, 28 degrees, 10 days after trail open, below 28 degrees, and I can ride all of this. But Yeah, couldn't make that corner. I tried. A second to warm up. They are freezing right now. Woo, it is chilly, guys. It is chilly, and if you look, as you can see, you can't even tell I was down that trail. Difference between somebody that understands snowmobile season is short, and that is an awesome sport all on its own, but I can still come out, ride a perfectly legal trail, and enjoy myself without being a complete putz tearing up the trail. So, and part of the reason why I made this decision too was because I know I've been in the game. Like I said, I've owned a snowmobile almost my entire life until Wisconsin winters kind of went to crap. I understand what the base is, how long it takes to set, yada yada yada, and I realized that with warming and cooling, fresh snow, panned it, and then it got really cold again, the base is pretty solid. It held up pretty well during the warm stretches. So it's pretty. Look at that, almost clear cut. I guess everybody needs paper to wipe their butt. Oh shit, I'm down to 1 bar. Alright, we'll go a little further and see where it takes us. It's been a while since I've been up this way, so it's been years actually. There we got 2 bars, we're back. Then I know I got about 9-10 miles on empty. Found that out in West Virginia. Thanks, Brian. We were running on low fuel for most of the freaking day. Yeah, it's a bummer they clear cut all this. Looks like they did this a couple years ago. Judging by the way some of the underbrush and stuff is already starting to grow up. I've definitely gained quite a bit of confidence, and I drove this one a little harder, and it has definitely shown signs of wear. Then not to mention too, I had a more controlled garage, I guess, you know, temperature control, a lot less moisture. I have noticed that keeping stuff in my dad's garage in the storage unit there, in his whatever, his pool building, whatever you want to call it, I noticed my tools are rusted. I've noticed things on my machines as far as switches not working like they're supposed to. Just little things due to condensation that are causing problems. Get sucked off the trail. So yeah, so a combination of riding it harder because I'm having a little more confidence, storing it in I don't know, an environment that I guess isn't exactly ideal due to keeping things alive type deal. She isn't holding up quite as well as my first one. And I had twice as many miles on my other one. Like I said, little cedar swamp area, and And I got 2 bars left, and it's 5 degrees out, and temperature is dropping. It's supposed to get brutally cold tonight. Next 3-4 days, actually, they've got a weather advisory for tomorrow, and I've got to go build a house. Not build a house, but help set a house. And it's supposed to be extremely cold tomorrow. I think the high for tomorrow is like 2 below, so that's going to be one of those type of days. That is nice too about riding when the temperature is like this. Most people aren't crazy enough to come out when the temperatures are this cold because of the fact you do risk a serious situation. For example, if this repair on my clutch were to fail, I'm taking a lot of confidence in my mechanical skill, I guess, to think it's good. But imagine if you broke down. I'm how many miles in already? It's 5 degrees and dropping. Most people are smart enough to stay home because, you really do risk a chance of, death or getting stuck out here, hypothermia. I mean, it's no joke. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm telling you, my feet are starting to get cold. The wind's nipping at my neck where I got a neck hole. Up in the Northwoods here, you got to take it into consideration. Ride with a buddy, ride when it's smart, and like take a breakdown into consideration, having some stuff to make sure you can survive out here in the Northwoods if things do indeed go wrong. So yeah, this is a bummer. All this new clear cut here. This used to be big, tall tree stands and stuff like that, like big, mature growth, and it's kind of, now it's all clear cut. Now it all looks like popple saplings coming up. Freaking useless wood. What are we down to? 2 bars. Back to what I was just saying, the previous statement about being safe, not running into anybody. That's just, there I am, 2 bars, no supplies, no nothing, on a fresh repair by myself, hoping that everything's good. Not the smartest, but I'm having a blast. Cold toes and all. And what's cool too about being able to ride some of these snowmobile trails legally, obviously without being a dumbass, these are places we can't normally get to during the summer months. And I know we do have a season that's all year round and blah blah blah, but it's one of those things, not very seldom do we have the opportunity to come out and ride these areas, because this is what's kind of happening in the state of Wisconsin. They are orientating the trails towards the cab rig. That's the new fad, the new cool thing, or whatever it is. And a lot of our trails here in Wisconsin have turned to pretty much glorified gravel roads through the woods. So you can only do that so much. Part of the reason for the move is because you can only do that so much before you get border trails like that. So to change it up a little bit and ride one of my, childhood favorite trails, respectfully for the snowmobilers on my quad, it's really cool. Get to change it up a little bit. One specific spot I'm trying to get to, and not sure if I'll make it, but we'll find out. I'm telling you what, this ain't no snowmobile though, man. I loved it. It was awesome. It was one of my favorite things to do. My family used to call me a big sledhead, because if I had a couple minutes, I was either ditch banging or I was out riding trails. I loved it. Any chance I had, I was on my snowmobile. And it was really hard to get rid of them for good because, I mean, we had a couple Arctic Cat riots where our most recent ones, after pulling up the MXZ, rebuilding and sending it down the road, we bought a couple riots, and I think we got like a couple rides out of them the entire time in a year and a half, 2 years of owning them, because there just was no snowmobile season. There was no snow. You know, it wasn't until sometime after Christmas that we would see our first snow there for a couple of years. And it was a sad day to say I was getting out of snowmobiling, because it is, if you've never done it, take the opportunity. It is a freaking blast. What are we? Oh, we're down to 1 bar. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the cedar swamp or not. Or it might have been the other direction. It's hard to say. Actually, it might have been the other direction. Heading towards Merrill. Alright guys, but either way, I think Big Blue is 100. I don't want to play with that as cold as it is. So I'm going to shut this down, warm up for a couple minutes, turn my happy ass around, and I'll pick you back up at the house. Oh, you see Big Blue in there. All right, guys, I am back to the house. This is going to be pretty short and sweet. I am freaking freezing. It is getting cold. You've seen that low fuel light that I was running for quite some time. Once again, it's just a suggestion. But either way, Big Blue is operating, doing everything it's supposed to. No weird noises, no belt poking through the belt box. I do think a lot of that issue as far as generating heat, warping that clutch assembly, was nothing more than that stupid freaking cover. She's a ripper. She's fun as shit. I passed some snowmobilers. Everybody waved. Everybody, you know, I went out, had fun. Couldn't even tell I was down those trails with Big Blue. Other than that, guys, all I gotta do is some fluid changes, and Big Blue just continues to impress, because that was an absolute freaking blast. But I am freezing. I'm gonna go inside. So if you guys haven't already, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see content when we post. And like always, on to the next adventure.